He's got that style, like his arms are just, you know, like Luffy. Sorry, Luffy from One Piece. But he's got the ball and chain style, I call it. Whereas his arms are like chains and then just cannonballs at the end of them. The way he whips it and his evasiveness, the way he looks away from shots. Mixed martial arts. This is artistry, and I'm a big fan of his art. So, yeah. But also Arman, a guy that I think should have probably fought Gaethje, but again, he's been having issues with the UFC.
Yep.
So yeah, he's taking time off, but now he gets to fight and showcase why he's one of the best. And I always think of Arman as a wrestler, but you forget how good his striking is.
Yeah.
Because I think the last time he fought, he threw an axe kick.
He said
and I remember thinking like, where the that was an axe kick. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Like, he threw an axe kick and I was like, when did he, because he gets up there as well with the hammer down. So yeah, that's an exciting
against Mauricio Huffy here, but Huffy does pose a threat. You know, we've seen Arman Tsarukyan wobbled before. He's been KO'd earlier in his career. When I landed that knee to his body in our grappling match, I did feel him go a little bit. So there is some like durability issues. I don't want to sort of go too deep into that. But if there's a way to beat Arman, it's to catch him and do some damage to him, or catch him in a finishable position like Charles Oliveira did with the submissions. But Huffy ain't got the submissions of Oliveira, so his best bet is going to be to go out there and score a KO on Arman Tsarukyan in the first or second round of this fight. Could he do it? Yes. But I don't know, man. I think Arman's got this one. All of the work he's been doing in his grappling and his wrestling, and the amount of wrestling contests that he's been entering, it's going to be in tip-top condition to take a guy like Mauricio Huffy down.
Look, Arman uses his striking really to set up his grappling, you know? So, I mean, he has got striking, but predominantly he wants to take you down and maul you, you know? You know, he puts that, you know, that arm shield out and, you know, he tries to get you on the back foot and then he chases your legs, you know? Yeah, but, you know, as far as Rufi's, he's a hard puzzle to work out because he's got his hands down. He's drawing you into that space, you know. If you're looking to shoot and someone's got his hands down, it's not as inviting, you know. And he's inviting you into his space, and that's where he's the most dangerous because, you know, he makes his jabs look like uppercuts, you know, his uppercuts look like hooks, and yeah, his punches come out of nowhere. Got a very unusual style, so it's very hard to prepare for it. He hits so hard.
Really hard?
Yeah. Really hard. He whack, and he's got such good timing and such a good eye. Like he just sets little traps up for you. Everything he does, he's doing it for a reason. You know, like I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, there's everything he does. There's reasoning behind it, and he's got such a good. Yeah, like I said, he's got fighter IQ. He's got a good eye. And I think the missing piece was his defensive wrestling. You don't have to be the best wrestler. You don't have to be the best submission artist. As long as you can get back up and knock him out, that's all he needs. And I'm telling you, he's looking good.
You know, probably is going to go bad. So there's a question of like, is this too much too soon for Hoofy relative to how bad he was against BSD? I understand that. On the other hand, like they got to do something with Arman, and if the Charles fight wasn't available for one reason or another, they had to give him somebody. They've reportedly told him, according to Ariel Helwani, that if he wins this, he'll get a title shot, which I think is the right call. Hoofy's building up some momentum, you know, and it's worthy of saying as much. I mean, he was on that White House card for a reason. I think people really like the way that he fights. So, like, if Arman wins, he gets a title shot, which I think is important for the division. And if Hoofy wins, I mean, obviously it depends how he wins, but if he's able to resist the takedowns enough where you can be like, wow, he's really moved on from the BSD fight and he wins, this is obviously putting him in title contention as well. So
yeah, I think he's a dangerous guy. He's a dangerous guy because he's probably the closest to Islam in that weight class. Like, I can't wait till that fight transpires one day. I know we missed it, but I think when it comes to striking, like his striking is different to Islam. Like Islam is kickboxing, very technical. I think Arman has got nice boxing, good kicks as well. But his kicks are flashy. Like also like just sharp kicks. So,
but I would say Roofy moves better. But Roofy moves better on their feet. That's one thing that Arman's gonna have to solve.
Footwork. Distance. He's gonna need the distance.
Yes.
That's the thing. Roofy's, that's the thing. If you give him space, that's how it works.
Yep.
So Arman is probably gonna close the distance ASAP.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job, and I have a time to watch his all fights, and he's a good striker. I think right now in our division, one of the best striker, because he knocked out Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev is the best striker as well, and it's gonna be dangerous on the feet, but on the wrestling, I think it's gonna be easier. Yeah, everybody knows I'm gonna shoot, but they don't know when and which round. Maybe it's gonna be round number 4, number 3. So let's see.
Do you think you could knock him out on the feet, though?
I can. I've been in this business long time, so I have a lot of good knockouts too.
Sometimes you just never know what guys like that are gonna throw at you, right? You don't know if he's gonna do a spinning back kick, spinning elbow, upward elbow. Yeah. You just never know. But I'm happy the fact that Arman gets the opportunity to fight, because if he wins, when he wins his fight, he should get the next title shot.
We say when he wins.
I'm going for my boy Arman. When he wins a fight.
Like, you look at it, Hoofy coming up, he's a guy who's super hungry, been dying to get into this kind of catapult situation where he can just kind of take that pole position for the contender. But from Arman's perspective, I'm like, man, this is a minefield to have to fight this guy to get to your title shot. And that's strange. And I think part of that, Luke, is because
Mauricio Ruffy's defensive structure operates on an entirely different principle. He employs a low guard stance, drawing opponents forward into a compressed space where his hand speed and angular positioning allow unconventional strike combinations to emerge. Unlike orthodox strikers, Ruffy's jabs generate uppercut-level power, and his uppercuts disguise themselves as hooks. His hands-down posture, a liability against elite wrestlers at first glance, actually invites shooters into a narrow corridor where his timing becomes optimal. The substitution pattern is clear. As Ruffy sacrifices traditional wrestling defense, he's banking on strike timing and consistent returns to vertical base after takedown absorption. Charles Oliveira's submission victory exposed Ruffy's vulnerability to ground control. But that specific weakness is distinct from what Tsarukyan's wrestling-first methodology will attack. Arman Tsarukyan operates within a well-defined pressure architecture centered on striking entry into grappling sequences. His approach leverages direct footwork and aggressive hand combinations to drive opponents backward, establishing control of the cage and distance. Once positional dominance materializes, Tsarukyan initiates leg attack sequences, using arm shields and body positioning to chase his opponent's base and secure takedowns. His wrestling output remains exceptional. He enters submission-based grappling contests regularly to maintain elite conditioning and movement patterns. What complicates Ruffy's task is that Tsarukyan's striking effectiveness isn't decorative. It's designed specifically to distort hand positioning and disrupt Ruffy's primary weapon, his ability to maintain distance and move laterally. The central mechanical conflict rests on how quickly Tsarukyan can collapse distance and establish clinch control before Ruffy's directional footwork creates sufficient space for strike exchanges. Tsarukyan's cage pressure and takedown sequencing represent established technical systems. Wrestlers of his caliber rarely fail in the micro-adjustments required for sustained grappling control. Ruffy's unpredictability carries weight, but unpredictability itself doesn't neutralize systematic pressure or defend against relentless clinch geometry. The question becomes whether Ruffy's recovery speed and re-engagement timing can generate enough offensive volume to interrupt Tsarukyan's established wrestling chain before positional control becomes inescapable.